And I think this stuff is just so beautiful. I love that kind of stuff. But it's only because I've gone through it and I've checked it out, step by step, that it's easy for me to just go back into it and play it musically. I remember a time when I was taking all these things and I was arpeggiating them like crazy. Like I was going like, or I can go, or all those different things. And I got on a gig that night, and what did I do? I went, regardless of what the music was around me, I was going, And I got home that night and I said, I don't think I was really playing with those cats, I was just basically repeating the stuff that I practiced. And I realized that I needed to slow it down and break it down. It's just like when you're eating food. Like say you have a 7-course meal, you don't like stuff it all in your mouth. You like eat a course and you check that out, you digest it a little bit and say, wow, that was good, kind of assimilate it. And then you go on to the next course, eat that, So like I might play it like that. I might go. And then I remember how that sounded. I still have it echoing. It's like that sound I just played. It's in the room now. Can you hear it? Bouncing off the walls. Can you feel it? What did you feel from that? And you can still feel it now because I haven't gone on to something else. And here's another one. It's still there. And that's what I started to do. That's when my learning started to go up. Because the ironic thing about it was that when I slowed down, I found that I was learning faster. And it relates to food too, because when you eat something, a lot of people don't know this, but food doesn't do you any good when it's in your stomach. Digestion, you're breaking it down, but it's the assimilation. That's when the food starts to do you some good. Digestion requires energy. It's when it gets past that point and it's at the point of assimilation, that's when it gives you energy. And so you have to let it get to that point. Whereas here, when I kept going on to the other thing, I wasn't giving it a chance to do that. You know how like on the radio they segue into like one song isn't even done and they segue into another thing, And so it's almost like, well, we went through all this trouble to give you this whole experience, but it wasn't worth nothing. Let's go on to something else, And that's kind of almost an insult, I remember one of my theory courses at Princeton was really wonderful with studying theory with Jim Randall. And he did this thing. In a way, it was very similar to other theory courses that we had. Because, it was similar format, standard thing. Like, professor plays, a record or tape, and then everybody talks about it. And they play something else, and everybody talks about it. But he said, okay, this time it's going to be different. What I want to do is I want to have 3 minutes of silence every time the music stops. And I mean a full 3 minutes. Nobody say anything. And the way he put it was he said, wherever that music put you, hang out there for 3 minutes. Then we can talk. And it was really interesting because I really felt like when we started doing that, I really felt like I finally heard the music. It was like a whole different thing. And everybody in the class, I think, would tell you that it was a whole different thing. The questions were so much better. We felt like we really understood the music much better because we weren't sitting there thinking, well, I'm going to be clever and what can I say, when the song is over. No, we just listened. And we had so much more insightful comments.